So I just kind of wanted to describe to you guys your choice. Right now, you've got like a banking consortium, a Federal Reserve. They get bonds, they print money, and the Federal Reserve is not really owned by the government. Now, you got sales and property tax, and you have other taxes. The taxes are the government tignoves. The government steals from you and then redistributes your money. And they also get bond money. So they get this money, they get this cash, and then they give it to themselves or their other contractors in an effort to steal from you. And then you got all these people on disability, welfare, government employees all pumping out a bunch of kids. And then it's all a big game to steal from you. Now, what you don't know is that, see, and this is what happens. Muslims know about this. And you're going to see this more and more. There's Muslims that come to America from the Muslim countries like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. And you got all Oman. You got all these wealthy guys. They come here. They're billionaires. And they come here just to get women pregnant. They'll pump as many women as they can. They'll get them pregnant, and then they'll leave. And then the woman's sitting there pushing a baby out. And then nobody wants her, and she's sitting there, and they're like, we're not going to help the baby. But in America, the government says, we'll help the baby. Because it's a gigantic plot and scheme by an artificial intelligence program to eliminate its competition. But we can talk more about that later. You know, there's a reason there's churches and mosques and stuff like that. My proposal is towards the just proposal. It's towards what Moshe established a long time ago. And what God has thrown his geed and feces on. If Moshe were alive today, God would have thrown his feces and his geed at Moshe, because God is going against what Moshe taught. Now, private banks, they make their own money, they can lend their money. You have the government, that should be separate in and of itself, printing its own money and giving its money. You don't have anybody in the government that doesn't have a high IQ. Separation of government and businesses, separation of governments and states, separation of government, and a bunch of other stuff. No lending money, no bonds, no taxes. Makes cash digital money for distribution to all these people that want their stipends. And get rid of gun restriction laws, allow for pistol dueling. Private banks can't do business with the government officials. Separation of banks and states. Get rid of restrictions on businesses. Allow purchase of apartments, ownership of livestock anywhere. No zoning or extra laws. A Bill of Rights that's upgraded. As you can tell, one nation under God has led us to a mixing and trashing of the nation. God's proposal for you is start to learn Chinese. My proposal is that you free yourself first. You don't have any of these conditions. And if you get a piece of land and you're self-sufficient, you don't have to go anywhere and nobody has to take your stuff. So it's up to you. But that's what I'm telling you guys now. Thank you for taking the time to watch.